Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be my Pan That Palette update, and I am panning the Bad Habit Artistry palette, which is the dupe for the Anastasia Mario palette. And if you're interested, I do have a whole Pan That Palette playlist that will be in the description box, and also a project pan playlist because I am doing quite a few project pans right now. I'm pretty excited for this update. I don't have major progress, but I do have some changes, so I'm excited to share that, and let's get started. Alrighty, first let me show you where my palette was at the end of last month. And something that I did decide to do with the color Laurel, which is the green one, I did decide to make a Franken shadow because that green is just not my favorite. It's kind of a dark, muddy green. And so what I did is I mixed a little bit of a gold eyeshadow that I had depotted that I never used, and I created a new eyeshadow. So now let me show you what my palette looked like with my new Franken shadow. And I gotta say, I don't do Franken eyeshadows or repressing a lot. I have done it in the past, but it had been a while. So I did first practice with some other depotted eyeshadows, and I realized that I had put too much of the alcohol in there, so they were a bit watery. This one worked out much better, so I'm glad that I practiced on some eyeshadows that I didn't really care about as much because I really didn't want to mess up my Pan That palette. I really do still want to finish this. I have some thoughts overall, but first I did want to show you an eye look that I did with my new greenish gold eyeshadow. It really made it so much prettier, so I'll show you a picture of that. And I just wore it with some kind of matte browns in the crease and outer corner, and I've been loving these greenish golds. I'm kind of wearing one today anyway. Today I'm wearing the Metropolis palette with just an inner corner highlight from BH Cosmetics Royal Affair. I'm loving these kind of colors, and I gotta say, it really improved this eyeshadow for me. I really enjoy it. Now, as far as the other eyeshadows in here, I did not make major progress. So let me show you what my palette looks like now. I can't really hold it up because, as you can see in the photo, one of the eyeshadows, Sophia, it's totally crushed up. Basically, it was just in the corners, so I just kind of scraped that out. So I've just been kind of using it loose like that. I do that a lot, and I find that it works just as well as repressing. Therefore, I didn't really feel the need to do that, but it looks really messy, and I can't really lift the palette because of that. Now, the rest of the eyeshadows, I have been using Mona and Tuscany, which are the two mattes left, pretty much every single day in the outer corner. And then obviously I did use my new Laurel shade several times, but obviously I did not hit pan. I will say that since I had to use an eyeshadow from another eyeshadow palette, that did add more product into this palette because I thought about it later. I could have used some other eyeshadows in here to make a new color, but I really wanted a strong yellow gold to mix in with it, which is why I did not do that. But I'm thinking that with the color Siren, the blue, which also is kind of like a muddy blue, I may end up making a Franken shadow with either Pearl or Daphne. So that I'm kind of thinking about, but I want to work on the one that I created first. So I will say that is a downside because I had to add more product. I had pan on that eyeshadow before, and with the amount I added, it pretty much filled it to the brim kind of perfectly, which obviously will slow me down a little bit, but that's okay because I love the color more, and I think I'm going to get a lot more use out of it because I really do like the new eyeshadow I created. So really, for other progress, I've really been working on Sophia a lot, and my goal is to finish that one hopefully in the next few weeks. There isn't a lot left. It kind of looks like there's more than there is, but that was just kind of left in the corners that I pulled out of there. The matte shades, I did make some progress. As you can see, the pan had expanded there. And then the other one that I worked on is Daphne. I did expand the pan on that one a little bit as well. That is also like a light champagne, and I mostly use that for inner corner highlight. And for the rest of the colors, a Siren, I didn't use it at all. Frida didn't use it. Primavera, Klimt, Dorsey, and Pearl, I don't think I used those once in the last month because I was really focused on the matte shades, Sophia, Daphne, and my new Franken shadow. Progress-wise, definitely not the most exciting update, but I am excited about my Franken shadow. I think it turned out really well, and I like the color so much more. And that's the thing, I really do want to enjoy using this palette, and I have decided Clearly, I am not going to finish by the end of the year, but I still do want to finish this palette and I want to work on it until it's done, however long that may take. It clearly, at this point, we're over halfway through the year, so there's just no way that I'll be done. But I'm hoping to just continue on and eventually finish it. You know, that's really my goal. I would love to complete this palette because A, I like it, and I also want to just complete an eyeshadow palette. It's not something I've never completely finished up a full-size eyeshadow palette, so I just kind of think achievement-wise that would be exciting. And I mean, I am making pretty steady progress. However, I will say my panning has been a little slower this month for a couple of reasons. I didn't quite wear makeup as often, and I also was much trying to rotate through my collection, use my different eyeshadow palettes. I'm also very focused on my usage projects. I'm doing a project 10 uses and a project 100 uses. So if you're interested in those are in my project pan playlist. That is something, I mentioned this in another video. I had a bit of a realization that if I use one eyeshadow 50 times and hit pan, or use an entire palette 50 times using whichever eyeshadows I want, not just the same one, even though if I don't hit pan, it is the same amount of usage, which is why I'm just a little bit less focused in the last couple months on hitting pan and using things up than I was in the past, because I find that usage kind of gets more wide usage on an entire palette, you know, versus hitting pan. Alrighty, so that is it for this update. Not the most exciting one, but I'm enjoying my Franken eyeshadow. That is it. And if you're interested, you can check out my Pan the Palette and Project Pan playlist. Those will be in the description box. And let us know if you make Franken eyeshadows, because now that I've done it, I'm actually really enjoying it. I don't want to go crazy and, you know, make too many, because obviously I can only work on so many eyeshadows at once, but please let us know if you do that as well. That is it. Thank you so much for watching.